Imagine this. A star-studded world where fame, fortune, and family collide in the most explosive ways possible. You're scrolling through your feed late at night, and bam, there it is. A bombshell confession that's got the internet on fire, celebrities shading each other in the comments, and fans picking sides faster than you can say. Reality TV reunion. Today, we're diving headfirst into one of the messiest scandals to hit the entertainment scene in years. The title alone will make your jaw drop. Yes, I'm HIV positive. Tamar Braxton claims Mendeecees destroyed her life and belongs in jail. Oh yes, honey, we're talking about Tamar Braxton, the queen of soulful vocals and unfiltered sass from Braxton Family Values, pointing the finger straight at Mendeecees Harris, the controversial figure from Love and Hip Hop, husband to Yandy Smith, and a man who's no stranger to legal troubles. But this takes drama to a whole new level, accusations of betrayal, life-altering secrets, and calls for justice that could shatter families and careers alike. Picture the scene. Tamar, with tears streaming down her face, sitting in a dimly lit room, her voice trembling as she spills it all in a raw, unedited Instagram live that quickly went viral. "I can't hold this in anymore," she sobs, her signature braids framing a face etched with pain and fury. "Mendeecees, you did this to me. You destroyed my life, and you belong behind bars for what you've done." The words hang in the air like a thunderclap, leaving millions of viewers stunned. Fans are losing their minds. Hashtag Tamar Truth trending worldwide, with some screaming support for her bravery, while others accuse her of clout chasing. But wait, it gets juicier. Sources close to the situation whisper that this isn't just a random fling gone wrong. Oh no, this allegedly stems from a secret affair that dates back years, hidden in the shadows of red carpets and after parties. Mendeecees, fresh off his own prison stint for drug trafficking, now faces allegations that could land him right back in the slammer, if Tamar's claims hold up. Emotions are running sky high. Tamar's sisters, Tony, Tracy, Tawanda, and Trina, are reportedly divided, with family dinners turning into shouting matches. How could she keep this from us? One insider claims Toni Braxton lamented her own health battles with lupus, making this hit even closer to home. Meanwhile, over in the Harris-Smith camp, Yandy is said to be furious, defending her man tooth and nail. "This is lies, pure and simple," she allegedly fired back in a now-deleted tweet, sparking a social media war that's got everyone from Cardi B to Kandi Burruss weighing in. But here's the twist that's got us all hooked. Tamar isn't just venting, she's got receipts, or so she says. Medical records? Text messages? Hotel receipts from that fateful night? The suspense is killing us. Will this lead to a lawsuit? A tell-all book? Or worse, a full-blown reality TV special where they hash it out face-to-face? Hold on tight, because as we peel back the layers of this fabricated fiasco, you'll see betrayals that cut deeper than a diss track, accusations flying like confetti at a bad wedding, and enough tea to fill an ocean. Did Mendeecees really know about his status and hide it? Is Tamar's revelation a cry for help or a calculated move for sympathy? And what about the kids caught in the crossfire, Mendeecees' sons with Yandy, watching their dad's name dragged through the mud? The drama is just beginning, and trust me, you won't want to miss a single second. Stay tuned as we break it all down, from the steamy hookups to the courtroom showdowns that could change everything. This is the kind of story that keeps you up at night, questioning loyalties and craving more. Are you ready for the ride? Let's rewind the clock to where this explosive drama allegedly began, back in the glitzy days of 2018 when Love and Hip Hop parties were popping and Braxton Family Values reunions were serving shade like it was on the menu. Sources close to the situation claim that Tamar Braxton and Mendeecees Harris first crossed paths at an exclusive industry bash in Atlanta, the kind where champagne flows like water and secrets are traded faster than business cards. Tamar, fresh off her divorce from Vince Herbert and riding high on her solo music wave, was reportedly in her "living my best life" era, turning heads with that signature fierce energy and those killer outfits that screamed, "I'm back, babies." Mendeecees, on the other hand, was navigating his own complicated world, fresh out of prison after serving time for drug trafficking charges, trying to rebuild his family life with Yandy Smith Harris and their blended brood of kids. But according to the whispers that have now turned into screams, something sparked that night between Tamar and Mendeecees that nobody saw coming. Picture this. The party is in full swing, bass thumping through the speakers, celebrities mingling everywhere. Tamar is holding court in the VIP section, laughing loud with her girls, when Mendeecees walks in with his entourage. Eyes lock across the room. Insiders say it was instant chemistry, the kind that makes the air crackle. He couldn't keep his eyes off her, one alleged witness spilled. And Tamar? She was giving him that flirty smile, the one she does when she's feeling somebody. They reportedly started chatting by the bar, talking about everything from music to family to the struggles of fame. Mendeecees apparently opened up about his time locked up, how he was turning his life around, and Tamar, always the empathetic queen when she wants to be, listened intently, sharing her own heartbreak stories. Hours passed like minutes, and before anyone knew it, they were slipping away from the crowd, finding a quiet corner where the conversation turned deeper, more personal, more dangerous. Fast forward a few weeks, and the alleged secret meetups began. Tamar was touring, Mendeecees was handling business in New York, but whenever their schedules aligned in the same city, Miami, Atlanta, they would link up on the low. Hotel suites, late-night drives, whispered phone calls that lasted until dawn. Tamar, feeling liberated after her toxic marriage, reportedly saw Mendeecees as this rugged, reformed bad boy who understood the streets and the spotlight. He made her feel desired in a way she hadn't in years, a supposed friend of Tamar revealed. Mendeecees, meanwhile, was drawn to Tamar's fire, her unapologetic realness, the way she could go from singing a ballad to reading somebody for filth in seconds. But here's where the trouble brewed. Mendeecees was very much married to Yandy, building their empire, raising their kids, appearing on Love and Hip Hop as the picture-perfect couple fighting through adversity. Yandy had stood by him through prison, held the family down, and now this? Emotions ran high during those stolen moments. Tamar allegedly confessed in one heated phone call, "I know this is wrong, but you make me feel alive again." Mendeecees, torn between his loyalty to Yandy and this intoxicating connection, reportedly replied, "Baby, you're everything I've been missing." But cracks started showing early. Tamar wanted more, texts during family events, calls when he was home with the kids. Mendeecees would go ghost for days, citing family time or business, leaving Tamar spiraling into doubt and jealousy. "Why can't you just leave her?" she allegedly demanded in one explosive argument that happened over FaceTime. "Because it's not that simple," he fired back. "I got kids, I got history, I can't just blow everything up." The fights became frequent, passionate makeups followed by even bigger blow-ups. Tamar, with her dramatic flair, would block him, unblock him, send paragraph texts at 3 a.m. accusing him of playing games. Then came the night that allegedly changed everything. It was late 2019, right before the world shut down for the pandemic. They met up in a luxury hotel in New York City, both stressed from their separate lives. Tamar was dealing with fallout from her show's drama, Mendeecees was navigating post-prison probation rules. One thing led to another, protection allegedly wasn't used in the heat of the moment, and what followed was a night of raw passion that neither would forget, but for all the wrong reasons. Afterward, lying in the dark, Tamar reportedly whispered, "This has to be the last time. We can't keep destroying ourselves like this." Mendeecees agreed, kissed her forehead, promised it was over. But was it? Texts continued, though sporadic. Tamar threw herself into her music, dropping crazy kind of love tracks that fans now swear were subliminals about this forbidden romance. Months passed. The pandemic hit, everyone locked down. Tamar focused on her relationship with her new Nigerian boo, David Adefeso, trying to move on clean. But something felt off. She started feeling unusually tired, run down, blaming it on stress, the quarantine blues. Routine blood work during a checkup in mid-2020 allegedly revealed the devastating truth. Tamar tested positive for HIV. Doctors asked the hard questions, recent partners, protection habits. Tamar's mind reportedly raced straight back to that reckless night with Mendeecees. Panic set in. Rage. Betrayal. She allegedly reached out to him immediately, voice shaking. "Did you know? Tell me the truth right now." Mendeecees, caught off guard, reportedly denied everything. "What are you talking about? I'm clean, I get tested regular," but Tamar wasn't buying it. She demanded proof, old test results, anything. He sent some, dated before their encounters, showing negative. But doubt lingered. How could this happen if not from him? Tamar spiraled privately, confiding only in her closest sister Tawanda at first. Tawanda was livid. "You need to confront him properly," she allegedly urged. "This man could have ruined your life," but Tamar hesitated. Public scandal? Destroying Yandy's family? The kids? She stayed silent, started treatment immediately, kept it hidden from the world. Her relationship with David crumbled under the weight of her secret, arguments about trust, intimacy issues. When they split explosively in 2020, with domestic allegations flying, fans blamed everything but the real bomb buried deep. Tamar poured her pain into music, into TV shows, into therapy. But the resentment toward Mendeecees grew like a cancer. Every time she saw him on Love and Hip Hop, smiling with Yandy, posting family pics, it allegedly ate at her soul. How can he live like nothing happened? She reportedly vented to friends. Years ticked by. Tamar found love again, got engaged, focused on healing. But triggers kept coming, seeing Mendeecees and Yandy renew vows on TV, watching them build their brand while she carried this invisible scar. Health scares popped up, medication side effects, the constant fear of disclosure. Friends say Tamar became more guarded, more angry beneath the surface. Then, in late 2025, something snapped. Maybe it was a social media post of Mendeecees looking too happy. Maybe a rumor reached her that he had known his status all along and never told past partners. Whatever the final straw, Tamar decided silence was no longer an option. She started dropping subtle hints on Instagram Lives, talking about liars who destroy lives, men who play with women's health. Fans speculated wildly, but nobody connected the dots to Mendeecees. Until that fateful night in early January 2026. Tamar went live from her bedroom, makeup minimal, eyes red from crying. Millions tuned in expecting album tea or shade about her exes. Instead, she dropped the nuclear bomb. "I've been carrying this pain for years," she began, voice cracking. "And tonight, I'm setting myself free. Yes, I'm HIV positive. And the man who gave this to me knowingly? Mendeecees Harris. He destroyed my life, and he belongs in jail." The live chat exploded. Phones blew up across the industry. Yandy allegedly saw it in real time, screaming at her TV. Mendeecees, watching with his family, reportedly went pale. Tamar's sisters got frantic calls. The Braxton family group chat caught fire. In the live, Tamar laid it all out: the affair timeline, the reckless night, the diagnosis, the years of silence. "I protected him because I didn't want to hurt innocent people," she sobbed. "But enough is enough. He knew his status, he hid it, and he infected me on purpose or by criminal negligence." Fans were shocked beyond belief. #TamarStrong trended alongside #JusticeForTamar. Old clips resurfaced of Tamar and Mendeecees interacting politely at events, now viewed through this devastating lens. Love and hip-hop fan pages went into meltdown, dissecting every season for clues. Yandy reportedly posted and deleted several responses, one allegedly saying, "This is disgusting lies, we will sue." Mendeecees stayed silent publicly at first, but privately lawyered up fast. The fallout was immediate and brutal. Tamar's phone rang non-stop, Tamar Braxton crying, begging her to think about the family name. Trina and Tracy divided, one supporting full exposure, the other worried about lawsuits. Tawanda stood firm. "Tell the whole truth, sis." Meanwhile, in the Harris household, chaos reigned. Yandy allegedly confronted Mendeecees with the kids asleep upstairs. "Is any of this true? Look me in my eyes." He swore it wasn't, but doubt crept in. Their children, old enough to understand social media, started seeing the headlines. "Daddy, why are they saying you hurt Tamar?" one allegedly asked, breaking everyone's heart. Friends from both circles picked sides, group chats dissolved, longtime alliances shattered. Celebrities started weighing in carefully. Kandi Burruss liked supportive posts for Tamar. Mona Scott Young, the love and hip-hop creator, stayed neutral, but ratings dreams danced in her head. Mental health advocates praised Tamar for destigmatizing HIV, while legal experts debated if criminal charges could stick. Transmission laws vary by state, intent hard to prove. But Tamar wasn't backing down. In follow-up posts, she shared alleged old texts from Mendeecees hinting at health issues he downplayed, cryptic messages that now read like confessions. "Remember when you said you had something, but it was managed?" She captioned one screenshot. The internet detectives went to work, timelines matched, old photos geotagged to same cities on same nights. As the story spread like wildfire, more layers peeled back. Former flings of Mendeecees allegedly came forward privately to Tamar's team, sharing similar scares, negative tests but lingering fear. One woman reportedly told Tamar, "He never disclosed anything to me either." The narrative shifted from personal betrayal to potential pattern. Prosecutors in New York supposedly took notice, anonymous tips flooding in. Mendeecees' parole officer allegedly requested a meeting. Yandy, ever the ride or die, went into crisis management mode, booking interviews, preparing statements. But cracks showed. Insiders say she stopped wearing her wedding ring temporarily, moved into a separate bedroom. Tamar, empowered by the support pouring in, started speaking openly about living with HIV, the meds, the undetectable status, turning tragedy into advocacy. "I'm not ashamed anymore," she declared in a powerful video. "He tried to break me, but watch me rise." Donations flooded her mentioned charities. But the pain remained raw. Nights alone, she reportedly still cried, wondering why she ever trusted him. The what-ifs haunted her: if protection was used, if she never met him, if she spoke up sooner. Family therapy sessions with the Braxtons turned intense, old wounds reopened alongside this new trauma. Toni, with her own chronic illness, bonded deeper with Tamar over health battles, while Vince, Tamar's ex, allegedly reached out with quiet support. And just when it seemed the storm couldn't get worse, a major twist dropped. Leaked audio allegedly surfaced of Mendeecees on a hot mic during a Love and Hip Hop filming, joking with castmates about wild days and dodging bullets health-wise. The context was vague, but in light of Tamar's claims, it sounded damning. Fans dissected every word. Yandy tried damage control, saying it was edited out of context, but the court of public opinion had already ruled. Mendeecees finally broke silence with a vague Instagram post: "Lies won't prosper. My family knows the truth." But no direct denial of the HIV allegation, which only fueled speculation. The drama was far from over, with lawyers circling, potential depositions looming, and both families bracing for a war that could drag on for years. Tamar's courage ignited conversations across Black Hollywood about safe sex, disclosure, accountability. But beneath the empowerment, the personal devastation lingered: trust shattered, health altered forever, a secret love turned toxic nightmare. And as the world watched, waiting for the next shoe to drop. The world waited for the next shoe to drop, and drop it did, just days after Tamar's explosive live when a blind item popped up on a popular gossip blog claiming that Mendeecees had tested positive years earlier, right around the time he got out of prison, but allegedly chose not to tell certain partners outside his marriage. The item was vague enough to avoid direct lawsuits, but specific enough, mentioning a New York reality star with multiple baby mamas, and a singer from a famous family, that everyone knew exactly who it was about. Fans screenshotted it, shared it, dissected every word. Tamar reposted it to her story with a simple zipper mouth emoji, letting the implication hang heavy. Yandy, pushed to the brink, finally went live herself, makeup flawless but eyes tired, voice steady yet shaking. "My husband has been tested multiple times since his release," she stated firmly. "We have paperwork, we have results, all negative. This is a desperate attempt to destroy a Black family that's finally thriving." But the chat wasn't buying it fully. Questions flooded in. Then show the papers, why not address the affair part, what about the leaked audio? Mendeecees, under pressure from Yandy and his management, agreed to a sit-down interview with a major urban podcast, the first time he would speak directly. The episode dropped like a bomb. Sitting across from the hosts, looking slimmer than usual, stress etched on his face, he started calm. "I never had an affair with Tamar Braxton," he claimed outright. "We knew each other from the industry, said hi at events, that's it." These allegations are false and dangerous, but when pressed about the specific night Tamar described, the hotel in New York, he hesitated just a beat too long. "I don't recall any such encounter," he said, but his voice cracked slightly. The hosts played the leaked hot mic clip, and Mendeecees explained it away as, "joking about STDs in general from my wild younger days, before prison, before I got tested and changed." Fans paused and rewound that moment endlessly. Did he just admit to having something back then? Social media erupted again, clips going viral with captions like, "He basically confessed." Tamar watched the interview from her Atlanta home, surrounded by Tawanda and a crisis PR team. "He's lying through his teeth," she allegedly fumed, throwing her phone across the room. Her team urged restraint, but Tamar was done playing nice. Hours later, she dropped phase 2 of her receipts, a series of alleged DM screenshots from 2019, Mendeecees sliding in after that initial party with heart eyes and, "You looked amazing tonight." Then more from late 2019, post-hookup, him saying, "I can't stop thinking about you," and, "We gotta be careful though." The timestamps matched her timeline perfectly. She blurred his username, but the writing style, the emojis he favored, it all screamed Mendeecees. Yandy's fans tried to call them fake, but digital forensics pages on Instagram broke them down, metadata intact, no obvious edits. The tide started shifting. Even some Love and Hip Hop castmates who had defended Mendeecees quietly unfollowed him. Family drama hit new peaks. The Braxtons convened an emergency meeting at Tony's La Mansion. Emotions ran high as Tamar retold every detail, tears flowing freely. Tracy, the peacemaker, pleaded for Tamar to consider therapy over public war. "This is eating you alive, baby," she said, hugging her tight. But Trina, always the hothead, was ready for battle. "If he did this, he needs to pay, period." Toni, the matriarch, worried about the impact on their brand, their legacy shows. "We've overcome so much as a family," she reminded them. "But health? Betrayal like this? I stand with Tamar." The sisters prayed together, cried together, emerged united in a way they hadn't been since their father's passing. Meanwhile, in the Harris-Smith home, things fractured further. Yandy's mother, who had always treated Mendeecees like a son, allegedly confronted him. "If there's any truth here, you need to own it before it destroys everything." Their kids overheard arguments late at night, Yandy sobbing, Mendeecees pleading innocence. Then came the biggest twist yet, another woman stepped forward publicly. Samantha Wallace, Mendeecees' ex and mother of his oldest son Lil Mendeecees, posted a cryptic message on her story. "Some secrets don't stay buried. Protect your health, ladies." Fans lost it. Did she know something? Had Mendeecees put her at risk too back in the day? Samantha had her own messy history with Yandy, fights on Love and Hip Hop that became legendary. Now, old clips resurfaced of her warning Yandy about Mendeecees' ways. In a follow-up post, Samantha clarified slightly, "I got tested regularly during and after our relationship. Always negative, but disclosure is everything." The implication hung, maybe Mendeecees hadn't been upfront with everyone. Yandy felt betrayed anew, not just by the allegations but by Samantha inserting herself. "This is opportunistic," Yandy allegedly texted friends. But the damage piled on. Legal wheels started turning fast. Tamar's attorneys filed a notice of intent to sue for intentional infliction of emotional distress and potential criminal complaint for reckless endangerment under New York law, where knowingly exposing someone to HIV without disclosure can carry felony charges. Mendeecees' legal team fired back with threats of defamation countersuit, demanding Tamar retract everything. Paparazzi swarmed both families, Tamar spotted leaving a doctor's office looking drained, Mendeecees ducking cameras at his kid's school drop-off. Tabloids ran wild with headlines, "Love and Hip Hop War," "HIV Scandal Threatens to Jail Mendeecees," and "Tamar Braxton Breaks Silence on Secret Affair That Changed Her Life Forever." Ratings for old episodes skyrocketed as new viewers binged for clues. Celebrity reactions poured in thicker. Tiny Harris liked Tamar's posts, a subtle show of support that spoke volumes given her friendship with Yandy. Rashida Frost stayed neutral but posted about "health first always." Cardi B, never one to hold back, tweeted, "If somebody gave me something without telling me, I'd be on their neck father. Protect yourselves out here." The message resonated, sparking broader conversations about HIV stigma, especially in the Black community. Advocacy groups reached out to Tamar, offering platforms. She accepted one major invite, to speak at an Atlanta gala for World AIDS Day later that year, turning her pain into purpose. "I won't let him define this chapter," she told her mirror one morning, practicing her speech. But privately, the toll mounted. Tamar suffered anxiety attacks, medication adjustments causing mood swings. Her new fiancé, reportedly supportive at first, started pulling away, questions about her past partners, fear clouding intimacy. "I understand if it's too much," Tamar allegedly told him during one tearful talk. He stayed, but tension lingered. Mendeecees, facing possible parole violation if old tests surfaced showing positive results, grew paranoid, checking locks, avoiding public spots. Yandy threw herself into work, launching a new hairline early to distract, but sales suffered from the boycott calls online. #CancelMendeecees Mendeecees trended sporadically, petitions circulated to remove him from Love and Hip Hop reruns. Weeks turned into a tense stalemate. Then, in a shocking development, an anonymous source leaked what appeared to be medical records to a gossip site, documents allegedly showing Mendeecees testing positive in 2017, during his prison stint, treated with antiretrovirals upon release, achieving undetectable status by 2018. The records were quickly taken down for privacy violation, but screenshots lived forever. Tamar's team neither confirmed nor denied obtaining them legally. Mendeecees' lawyers called them forged, demanded investigation into the leak. But the narrative solidified for many. He knew, he didn't disclose to Tamar, criminal negligence at minimum. Prosecutors reportedly opened a formal inquiry, subpoenaing records from clinics. Yandy reached her breaking point. Insiders claim she packed bags for a solo retreat, leaving Mendeecees with the kids and a nanny. "I need space to think," she allegedly told him. Their perfect image, built over years of TV drama and real struggle, cracked wide open. Friends say Yandy questioned everything, his prison stories, his loyalty, their future. Mendeecees, isolated and desperate, reportedly reached out to mutual industry friends begging for mediation. One major figure, Remy Ma, allegedly agreed to host a private sit-down, but Tamar declined. Not until he admits the truth publicly, her camp responded. As spring 2026 approached, the scandal evolved yet again. Tamar announced a tell-all interview with a top network, promising never-before-seen evidence. Teasers showed her holding back tears, saying, "I have proof he knew." Mendeecees countered with his own planned press conference, flanked by pastors and family. The stage was set for a showdown that could either vindicate one side or expose deeper lies. Fans braced for impact, divided into camps but united in addiction to the drama. Relationships hung by threads, careers teetered, children shielded as best as possible from the storm. And in the quiet moments, both Tamar and Mendeecees allegedly wrestled with regret, her forever trusting him for whatever choices led here. But pride, fear, and survival instincts kept the war raging. The next revelations promised to be even more devastating, pulling in more names, more secrets, threatening to rewrite reality TV history forever. The stage was set for a showdown that could either vindicate one side or expose deeper lies, and Black Hollywood held its breath as Tamar's tell-all interview aired on a primetime special in May 2026, hosted by a top network anchor known for pulling no punches. Tamar walked onto the set looking regal yet vulnerable, dressed in a stunning red gown that screamed power, her hair sleek, makeup beat to perfection, but her eyes told the story of sleepless nights and endless battles. The anchor wasted no time. "Tamar, you dropped a bomb that shook the industry. Why now?" Tamar took a deep breath, voice steady at first. "Because silence was killing me slower than anything else. I carried this shame, this rage, for years. Watching him live freely, build his family, while I fought private demons, he doesn't get to do that anymore." She pulled out a folder of alleged documents, recent medical records showing her status, timelines of their meetups pulled from flight records and hotel logs her team subpoenaed, and most damning, an alleged email chain from Mendeecees to a friend in 2018 bragging about hooking up with that Braxton chick, and joking about health risks. The audience gasped audibly when Tamar read excerpts. He said, and I quote, "She fine as hell but I ain't telling her everything, that's on her." Whether the email was authenticated live or not, the damage was done. Tamar broke down recounting the diagnosis day, how she sat in her car screaming, calling her mother crying, fearing she'd never find love again. "I thought my life was over. Dating? Impossible. Kids? Complicated. All because of one man's recklessness." She spoke candidly about her undetectable status now, the daily pills, the side effects, turning it into education. HIV isn't a death sentence anymore, but betrayal? That can kill your spirit. Viewers at home live tweeted every moment, #Tamar interview trending #1 worldwide. Support poured in from legends like Mary J. Blige and Oprah, who posted, "Brave woman speaking her truth." Mendeecees' press conference happened just 48 hours later, a packed room with pastors on one side, Yandy stoic beside him, their children absent to shield them. He started strong, Bible in hand. "I come in peace, but I will defend my name. These accusations are fabricated for attention and possibly financial gain." He denied the affair again, called the emails obvious forgeries. "My grammar ain't even like that." He presented his own stack. Test results from 2018 onward, all negative, sworn affidavits from friends saying Tamar pursued him aggressively at events but he turned her down. "I respect Tamar as an artist, but this story is fiction." Yandy spoke next, voice cracking for the first time publicly. "We've been through hell and back, prison, infidelity rumors before, blending families. But this? Accusing my husband of attempted murder essentially? It's evil." She revealed they'd undergone couples therapy, that she still believed him, but admitted the scandal strained everything. The public split widened. Polls on social media showed 50-50 belief. Some saw Tamar as a survivor icon, others Mendeecees as a targeted black man in a cancel culture era. Legal analysts debated endlessly. Without concrete proof of knowing transmission, criminal charges might fizzle, but civil suit? Tamar had a shot. Then came twist number 3. A former prison inmate who served time with Mendeecees went live on TikTok, claiming Mendeecees confided in the yard about testing positive inside, getting meds, planning to keep it quiet post-release to rebuild his image. The inmate, facing credibility issues due to his own record, still sparked frenzy. Fact-checkers couldn't verify, but clips racked millions of views. Mendeecees' team dismissed him as a clout chaser paid by Tamar's camp. Summer 2026 brought escalating fallout. Love and Hip Hop paused filming new seasons involving the Harris family indefinitely, citing ongoing legal matters. Yandy's businesses took hits, sponsorships pulled, events cancelled. She launched a GoFundMe for legal fees disguised as Family Support Fund, raising hundreds of thousands but drawing side eyes for the optics. Tamar, conversely, saw her streaming numbers soar, booked a residency in Vegas, partnered with HIV awareness campaigns raking in donations. Her sisters rallied publicly. Tony performed a duet with her at a benefit concert, the Braxtons announcing a comeback tour with Tamar front and center. But privately, fractures lingered. Tracy allegedly distanced herself, tired of the endless drama affecting her own peace. Another bombshell dropped in July when Erica, one of Mendeecees' other baby mamas, spoke out in an interview. Never a main cast member but always in the mix, she claimed Mendeecees fathered her child during his early days with Yandy and never fully disclosed health tests to her either. "I got lucky, always negative," she said. But looking back, he was shady about doctor visits. The pile-on effect intensified. Women from Mendeecees' past allegedly DM'd Tamar's team with stories, nothing prosecutable, but a pattern emerging of non-disclosure in casual encounters. Mendeecees retreated from social media entirely, spotted only in rare pap photos looking gaunt, stressed. Tamar's fiancé proposed publicly amid the chaos, a romantic beach setup that made headlines as "Love Wins." But whispers said it was rushed to counter the "undateable" narrative. Intimacy issues persisted privately. Trust after trauma isn't rebuilt overnight. Tamar started therapy focused on betrayal trauma, journaling nightly about forgiveness, not for him, but for herself. Meanwhile, the kids suffered most quietly. Lil Mendeecees, now a teenager, allegedly got into school fights defending his dad. Yandy homeschooled temporarily, shielding them from tabloids. One heartbreaking leaked photo showed their youngest crying at a grocery store after seeing a magazine cover screaming, "Daddy's secret disease shame." As fall approached, settlement talks began behind closed doors. Tamar's side allegedly demanded millions plus public apology. Mendeecees offered a smaller sum with NDA. Neither budged. Then, in a stunning turn, Yandy filed for legal separation in September 2026, citing irreconcilable differences, but no divorce yet. Sources close said it was protective, to distance assets amid lawsuits, but the symbolism crushed Mendeecees. He moved into an apartment alone, posting cryptic Bible verses about false witnesses. Yandy focused on co-parenting, launching a podcast about strong women rebuilding, carefully avoiding direct scandal talk but dropping gems like, "Trust is fragile, protect your peace." Tamar celebrated the separation news with close friends, allegedly toasting karma, but victory felt hollow. Health flares from stress landed her in hospital briefly, dehydration, anxiety attack. Fans sent flowers, prayers. She emerged stronger, announcing a memoir due next year titled, Undetectable but Unforgettable. Excerpts teased would include full timelines, more receipts. Mendeecees' camp panicked, preparing counters. Prosecutors closed the criminal inquiry for lack of hard evidence on intent, but civil suit barreled forward, discovery phase unearthing phone records, witnesses. By late 2026, exhaustion settled over both camps. Public interest waned slightly as new scandals emerged, but the core fans remained rabid. Reunion specials were pitched. Mona Scott Young allegedly offered millions for a mediated sit-down with Tamar, Mendeecees, Yandy on camera. Tamar considered it for closure. Mendeecees refused unless lies retracted. The family divisions deepened, Braxton's thriving united, Harris-Smith blended family fractured quietly. Children grew up faster than planned, learning harsh lessons about fame's cost. Yet amid the wreckage, glimmers of growth appeared. Tamar became a leading voice in HIV advocacy, speaking at events, destigmatizing fiercely. Mendeecees volunteered anonymously at youth programs, trying redemption without spotlight. Yandy rebuilt her brand solo, respected for grace under fire. But the scars remained, trust shattered industry-wide, affairs scrutinized, health conversations mandatory in circles once silent. And as 2027 dawned, one final whisper circulated. A potential DNA twist involving an old rumor, or perhaps a surprise witness ready to flip everything again. The saga wasn't over. Reality TV's messiest chapter still had pages left to turn, leaving everyone wondering who would emerge whole, who broken beyond repair. The saga wasn't over. Reality TV's messiest chapter still had pages left to turn, leaving everyone wondering who would emerge whole, who broken beyond repair, and whether any redemption could ever truly heal the wounds inflicted. As 2027 rolled into full swing, the civil suit finally headed to mediation, a closed-door session in a neutral New York conference room where lawyers, Tamar, Mendeecees, and surprisingly Yandy all sat across from each other for the first time since the explosion. Tensions crackled from the moment they entered, Tamar in a sharp black suit, hair pulled back fiercely, avoiding eye contact with Mendeecees, who looked worn down in a simple button-up, Yandy beside him but not touching, her face a mask of resolved exhaustion. The mediator, a no-nonsense veteran of celebrity disputes, laid ground rules: no interruptions, speak your truth, aim for resolution. Tamar went first, voice steady but laced with years of pent-up fury. "You knew your status, you didn't disclose, and you changed my life forever," she stated plainly, sliding medical timelines across the table. "I live with this every day, the pills, the checkups, the fear of telling someone new. All because you were careless, selfish." Mendeecees stared at the documents, jaw tight, before responding quietly, "I never knew back then, and those tests prove it. But even if, I'm sorry for any pain, Tamar. Truly," Yandy interjected softly, "we've all suffered. My kids lost their family unit, I've lost trust." Emotions ran high as Tamar snapped back, "You're suffering? Try carrying a secret that could end your dating life, your peace." Tears welled in Yandy's eyes, for the first time showing vulnerability toward Tamar. "I believed him, stood by him, and now, we're here." Hours dragged, accusations flew, Tamar demanding accountability, Mendeecees insisting on mutual forgiveness, Yandy pleading for closure for the children's sake. A breakthrough came when Mendeecees allegedly admitted privately to his lawyer a past health scare during prison that he downplayed upon release, though still denying transmission to Tamar. Whispers of a settlement emerged, a substantial undisclosed sum to Tamar for emotional damages, plus a joint public statement acknowledging pain on all sides without admitting liability. But Tamar held firm on one point, a personal apology video from Mendeecees addressing disclosure importance. He resisted, pride stinging, until Yandy urged him, "Do it for peace, for our babies." The statement dropped months later, carefully worded. Mendeecees posting a solo video expressing regret for any hurt caused in past relationships, stressing, "Always get tested, always disclose." Tamar followed with her own, accepting the gesture, announcing the suit withdrawn, and redirecting focus to advocacy. "This chapter closes, but the conversation continues," she captioned, linking HIV resources. Fans were shocked at the semi-resolution, some called it anticlimactic, others mature. Hashtag healing over hate trended briefly alongside lingering hashtag justice for Tamar holdouts. Family dynamics shifted dramatically post-settlement. The Braxtons, already tight, grew unbreakable, Tamar headlining their comeback tour to sold-out crowds, sisters harmonizing backups, Tony mentoring on health management. Private dinners became therapy sessions, laughter returning louder than before. Tamar's fiancé stuck through the storm, their wedding plans accelerating into a lavish 2028 affair where vows emphasized trust rebuilt. She birthed a memoir that debuted at #1, raw chapters on the affair, diagnosis, and triumph, pulling no punches but ending hopeful. Royalties funded her new foundation for women living with HIV, empowering thousands. Over in the Harris-Smith world, separation turned permanent. Yandy filed for full divorce equivalent arrangements, custody, support, while launching a solo empire. Books on resilience, speaking gigs, a new reality spin-off focusing on single motherhood in the spotlight. She dated sparingly, guarded but glowing, earning respect as the ultimate survivor. Mendeecees co-parented diligently, moving to a quieter life upstate, mentoring at-risk youth about consequences of choices. Old love and hip-hop offers dried up, he pivoted to podcasting on fatherhood, redemption arcs drawing modest but loyal audiences. The kids adjusted best they could, therapy, blended holidays, shielding from residual online hate. Celebrity circles buzzed with lessons learned. Mona Scott Young scrapped planned reunion specials, deeming them too toxic. Instead, networks greenlit documentaries on HIV in Black communities, Tamar executive producing one that won awards. Stars like Cardi B and Candy amplified testing campaigns, disclosure talks becoming brunch staples. But scars lingered, Tamar's anxiety flares during pap swarms, Mendeecees' paranoia over every rumor, Yandy's wariness of ride or dies. Then, in late 2028, a final unexpected twist, Tamar and Yandy crossed paths at a charity gala for women's health. Cameras caught a brief, cordial hug, awkward but genuine. Insiders spilled they chatted privately for 20 minutes, no Mendeecees mention, just mutual understanding of fame's cruelty, motherhood's strength. "We're not friends, but we're not enemies," Yandy allegedly said. Tamar nodded, "Life's too short for eternal beef." The photo went viral, symbolizing unlikely grace. Years later, reflecting in interviews, Tamar called it the darkest blessing, forcing growth, purpose, unbreakable bonds with her sisters. Mendeecees spoke of humility learned the hard way, vowing better choices. Yandy thrived independently, proving women rise strongest alone if needed. The kids grew into teens navigating their parents' complicated legacies with therapy and love. And just like that, one of reality TV's wildest fabricated scandals faded into cautionary tale lore: betrayal's cost, silence is danger, forgiveness is power. Fans moved on to new dramas, but the impact echoed. Conversations opened, lives saved through awareness, families rebuilt differently but stronger. Tamar sang louder, Yandy hustled harder, Mendeecees reflected deeper. The storm passed, leaving transformed landscapes where pain once raged uncontrolled. But in quiet moments, each wondered about alternate paths, not meeting at that party, speaking truths sooner, protecting hearts fiercer. Yet they emerged, not destroyed, but evolved. And isn't that the realest resolution reality could script? The end of one era, the bold beginning of others, with lessons etched forever in Black Hollywood's chaotic history. The end of one era, the bold beginning of others, with lessons etched forever in Black Hollywood's chaotic history. But even as the dust seemed to settle and everyone tried to move forward with their rebuilt lives, whispers started circulating again in early 2029 that not everything had been laid bare during that mediation session. A popular urban podcast host claimed to have received an anonymous package containing audio recordings allegedly from Mendeecees' phone, backed up before he switched devices during the height of the scandal. The host teased it for weeks, building hype, saying it featured conversations that could change the entire narrative. Fans who had moved on suddenly tuned back in, old hashtags revived, group chats reignited with speculation. Tamar, now married and expecting her first child with her husband, stayed silent at first, focusing on maternity photoshoots and foundation galas, radiating peace. But her PR team monitored closely, ready to pounce. The audio finally dropped in a bombshell episode titled, "The Tapes That Could Reopen the Case." In grainy but clear quality, Mendeecees' voice allegedly spoke to a close male friend shortly after Tamar's initial live. "Man, she got it from somewhere, but if they pin it on me, I'm done. I was undetectable anyway, it shouldn't even transmit." The friend pushed back. "Bro, you knew back in the day though, right? From prison?" Mendeecees reportedly laughed it off. "Ancient history, I've been clear for years." Another clip captured him venting to what sounded like his brother. "Tamar wild for this, but I ain't going down alone if she keep pushing." The podcast host brought in experts to authenticate voice analysis matching known interviews, metadata suggesting old backups. Mendeecees' current team called it deepfake garbage, threatening lawsuits against the platform. But the damage spread fast, streams hit record numbers, clips shared millions of times. Tamar's peace shattered overnight. Pregnancy hormones mixed with resurfaced trauma sent her into emotional spirals. "I thought we were done," she allegedly cried to Tawanda during a late-night call. "Why can't he just let me heal?" Her doctors monitored stress levels closely, warning about risks to the baby. The Braxton sisters rallied harder than ever, Tony canceling tour dates to stay by her side, Trina threatening to handle it personally if the tapes proved real. Public support flooded Tamar's Instagram, celebrities like Fantasia and Monica posting, "We got you, Queen," fans organizing virtual baby showers with HIV education themes. But doubt crept into some corners. Had the settlement included hidden NDAs covering exactly this kind of evidence? Yandy, now fully divorced and thriving with her own show, Yandy Unfiltered, pulling big ratings, faced fresh backlash. Old interviews resurfaced where she swore Mendeecees was always negative. Viewers accused her of blindness or complicity. She addressed it head-on in an emotional episode. "I believed what I was shown at the time. We've been apart for years now, co-parenting only. This doesn't define me or my children." Sales for her brands dipped temporarily, but loyal fans rallied with hashtag I stand with Yandy trends. Privately, sources say she confronted Mendeecees again. "If this is real, you lied to all of us." He maintained innocence, claiming the tapes were spliced manipulations. Legal chaos erupted anew. Tamar's attorneys filed motions to reopen the civil settlement, arguing fraud and new evidence of intent. Prosecutors, who had closed the criminal case, reportedly reviewed the audio for possible perjury angles from old statements. Mendeecees lawyered up heavier, going radio silent, spotted only picking up kids from activities looking defeated. His youth mentoring program lost funding, donors pulling out over controversy. The kids, now older, struggled publicly, social media trolls targeting them, school counseling sessions increasing. Then came another massive twist. The anonymous source revealed themselves as a former assistant to Mendeecees who claimed wrongful termination during the original scandal. She alleged he asked her to clean old devices, but she kept backups as insurance. In a tearful interview, she said, "I stayed quiet for my own safety back then, but seeing Tamar build this beautiful life while he still denies? I couldn't anymore." Credibility battles raged, her history of NDAs, possible financial motives, but the tape's details matched private facts only insiders knew. Public opinion swung hard toward Tamar again. Petitions circulated for Mendeecees to face charges under stricter disclosure laws. Advocacy groups used the moment to push legislation. Tamar, against doctors' advice for rest, released a statement video from bed. "I won't let this steal my joy or my baby's health." But accountability matters. For every woman who's been lied to, for every person living with HIV in silence, truth wins eventually. Her vulnerability struck chords. Donations to her foundation tripled. Mendeecees finally responded with a paid interview, pastor beside him again. Voice weary, he admitted to the prison-era positive test fully for the first time publicly. "Yes, I was diagnosed inside, treated, became undetectable before release. But by the time anything allegedly happened with Tamar, science says transmission is near impossible." He denied knowing exposure occurred, called the reckless night claims exaggerated. "I made mistakes, hid my past status from some people early on, but not criminal intent." Tears fell as he apologized broadly. "To Tamar, to Yandy, to my kids, I'm sorry for the pain my silence caused." No direct apology to Tamar by name, citing legal advice. The confession shifted everything. Media called it partial vindication for Tamar, full exposure of Mendeecees' omissions. Yandy distanced further, restricting his access temporarily pending therapy progress. Tamar gave birth to a healthy baby girl that summer, naming her Harmony as a symbol of reclaimed peace. The Braxtons threw a private celebration, no cameras, just family healing. Legal motions dragged, settlement reopened but ultimately upheld with additional charitable donations mandated from Mendeecees. By 2030, the scandal's final echoes faded. Tamar raised her daughter fiercely, memoir turned into a scripted series she executive produced, starring a new generation actress as her. Yandy married a quiet businessman, stepping back from reality TV mostly. Mendeecees rebuilt slowly through faith-based work, accepting permanent consequences. The tapes became textbook cases in media ethics classes, HIV advocacy milestones. And though scars remained invisible but deep, life moved relentlessly forward, babies born, music made, lessons taught. Black Hollywood whispered the names less, but remembered the cost of secrets, the power of speaking, the complicated grace of survival. What started as a forbidden spark at a party ended as a generational cautionary tale, proving some dramas never fully die, they just transform into wisdom for those willing to listen. Yet even wisdom has its shadows, and somewhere in quiet moments, each principal wondered if full truth ever truly surfaced, or if some layers stay buried forever in fame's unforgiving game. And just like that, the storm that started with one forbidden spark at an Atlanta party transformed into something bigger than any of us could have imagined. Generations of conversations sparked, stigmas challenged, lives touched, and lessons carved deep into the fabric of Black Hollywood forever. From Tamar Braxton's raw courage in that viral live to Mendeecees Harris's partial confessions, from Yandy Smith's unbreakable grace under fire to the Braxton sisters closing ranks like warriors, this fabricated saga delivered every twist, every tear, every betrayal, and every glimmer of redemption that reality TV dreams are made of. We watched families fracture and rebuild, careers teeter and soar, secrets explode and slowly, painfully, heal. What began as whispers of a secret affair ended with undeniable truths about accountability, disclosure, health, and the high cost of silence when trust is on the line. But here's the thing, babies, this story isn't just entertainment. It's a mirror. It forces us to ask ourselves the hard questions. Who have we trusted without full truth? What secrets are we carrying that could hurt someone we care about? How far would we go for our peace, our family, our legacy? Tamar rose from the ashes stronger, turning pain into purpose and advocacy. Yandy proved queens rebuild empires even when the crown feels heavy. Mendeecees faced the mirror of his choices and, in his own way, tried to make amends. The kids? They're the real survivors, learning early that fame's spotlight burns hot and unforgiving. And us? The fans, the watchers, the scrollers, we're changed too. We've laughed, cried, argued in the comments, picked sides, unfollowed, refollowed, and ultimately witnessed what happens when real life crashes into reality TV harder than any producer could script. So now the question lands squarely in your lap. Where do you stand in all this mess? Do you believe Tamar was brave for speaking her truth, no matter the fallout? Or do you think Mendeecees deserved more grace after years of trying to change? Was Yandy the ultimate ride or die who held it down too long, or a woman who finally chose herself? Drop your hot takes in the comments below. Be messy, be honest, be real. Tell me, Team Tamar, Team Yandy, Team Mendeecees, or Team, everybody needs therapy and better communication. Who's the biggest villain in this saga? Who's the hero? And if this happened in your circle, would you stay silent or spill it all like Tamar did? If this roller coaster of drama had you glued to the screen, heart racing, jaw dropped, hit that like button right now so the algorithm knows you felt every emotion. Subscribe and turn on notifications because trust me, the tea never stops flowing here. We've got more explosive stories, more celebrity breakdowns, more behind-the-scenes shade coming your way every single week. Share this video with your group chat, your mama, your messy bestie. Let them catch up on the chaos. And while you're at it, tell me in the comments, what unresolved question still keeps you up at night about this whole situation? Would you want a reunion special where they all sit down face to face? Or is some drama better left buried? Thank you for riding this wild wave with me from the first viral live to the final quiet reflections. You made this story bigger than any headline. Until next time, protect your peace, get tested, disclose your truth, and remember, sometimes the biggest scandals teach the deepest lessons. I'll see you in the next one. Stay messy, stay real, and stay blessed. Peace.